Welcome back to the channel. Look what I got. The first Oceanus OCW-500TDJ Japanese version sapphire glass. Wave scepter. Atomic time. I got a few things to show you. I created this book right here. Got the manuals, a few pictures here I gotta show you. I gotta show you this magazine here, 50th anniversary. They call these the Bible of the, I guess this one has gotta be the Bible of the Casio. Previous versions were called Bibles, G-Shock Bible or something like that. There's a big lie in this magazine, but I'll show you later. First, how about I show you how I changed the battery and the O-ring on this watch. Keep watching. All right, let's remove the bracelet. As you can see on the left, that's the collar side, and the one on the right, it's the one with the head. So you get something thinner than the collar, and all you got to do is push it, and it's not very difficult. You just got to get it right in the middle, and as you can see, it comes right out. So where is the collar? The collar is in the tool right here. Make sure you don't lose it. And there it is. Bracelet is off. So remove the 4 screws, and that's the inside of the first Oceanus CTL1616 battery. Let's remove that 22-year-old O-ring. More on that later. Now, to remove the battery, all you got to do is lift the little piece of tape right there. That way you can see the hinge to the door holding down that the battery. And of course I blocked it. All you gotta do is poke at it like a regular watch, swing it open. Now I was testing it and the battery was still holding charge. It's a miracle. It's the old kind, and you know that because it only says 16 CTL 1616 without the F, and you can see it starts with a 4. That means it's from 2004. The 6 means June, so it's from June 2004. 22 years old. And as you see, the battery was like starting to seep, but the watch is nice and clean inside. Make sure you don't lose that ring inside either. New battery is from 2022. Newer battery. That's the one I got. Battery should be good for many years to come. Now, of course, just like any other watch, after replacing the battery, you do an AC reset and you check, and notice how that LCD is very faded. More on that later. So look at this ring right here, kind of spacer thing. They probably made that to, oh, there's the O-ring, that's the part number. And as you can see, it uses the same O-ring as the King of G. More on that watch later. So the O-ring, nice and lubed. Put it in place. So what I did was I put that metal ring inside the O-ring luber to get it like lube, that way it will stick to the border there. But don't do it like that. I don't recommend that. It's better if you lube it like I did, even though I didn't show you, but you put that metal ring inside the back cover. it's a safer way to do it. That way you won't mess it up. I'm about to show you. So if you put it right there in that outer border, it'll stick right there because it has a little bit of silicone oil, and it'll stay in place while you're putting the back cover. Now use a Q-tip, you clean up a little bit, and voila, you put back the back cover, and then you will proceed with putting the 4 screws. But I'm not done. That was the process of like changing the battery and the O-ring on this watch. I need to do something else. You can see that metal ring came off. I want to remove that the module. I want to see if I could do something with that LCD. So it has this plastic, it's like a spacer that goes all the way around. And that corner right there is the best spot to lift it. And then you just go all the way around. Get it out of the way. Now the module is basically loose in there. It has that big piece of tape there. Basically like a magnetism protection. So it's loose. That's to protect the wave scepter antenna. And that's the module right there. There's another ring in there. You can see it has 2 pins, so it can only go in one way. Those are the 4 buttons. Double O-ring for that 100 meters water resistance. Pretty good looking watch. So here is my thing. Here I added a little bit of a polarizer with a little bit of sticky tape. Make sure the LEDs are in the correct orientation. Putting it back together. And now to put the bracelet back on, you're going to need one of these blocks. And what I did was I used a spring bar. And it's being held down by that screw. And it's on the head side. And now that color is a little bit tricky to grab, but once you get it to grab, all you got to do is put it in or drop it in there. I think it takes me like three times there. And all you got to do is push it. I do it with this same tweezers here. And voila. There it is. And now the bracelet is back on the watch. Got a painted color bracelet there. See a regular old spring bar, but that block is definitely necessary. All right, welcome back. Sapphire. So it seems it's a pretty good quality sapphire. It has AR coating, transparent AR coating. First, like I mentioned before, the first Oceanus titanium, fully titanium. It was missing a few links, so I had to adapt this extender here from Amazon. You've seen it in a previous video. I took it off that other watch because I got extra links for that other watch. So now it's in here. I did order. I managed to find an extra link for this watch so I could take this off. Even though it's very comfortable with this, it doesn't bother me. And I have more here to adjust I could go even one more out, but I could add the other link and, you know, keep playing with this. So, you know, probably be here in, let's say, maybe a week or two, because it's coming from Japan. So as you can see, this watch is fully titanium. Now, uses module 3731, I believe. And here are some of the variations that were out back in 2004 when this came out. I prepared this graph here with all the information here. So 10 bar, 100 meters water resistance, radio controlled, top solar. It has a dual time, so you could, it's not world time, but it has a dual time. I hope you know what that means. Here are the prices when it first came out. So this one is the bottom one, the TDJ-1AJF, I believe. And it costs 63,000 yens, which is around $582. And the equivalent for inflation in today's money, that's $1,000.27 and 12 cents. $1,027 with 12 cents. So there's a lot of information on this watch, and they say on the internet that it will not receive the signal here in the United States, but that is a lie. You can see that little antenna right there in the corner. It receives the signal perfectly fine. The only difference is that it doesn't give you an extra setting for you to choose which antenna. For example, if this watch, you don't pick the city by name when you're setting your time, you do it by the hour. So when you're on the settings, Tokyo is +9, the UTC +9. In that setting, when you go into the wave scepter settings, you could pick whether the 60 hertz antenna or the 40, because those are the two antennas over there in Japan. But once you change to the east coast of United States or any part of the United States, it won't let you choose, but the watch already knows that it needs to be on the 60 hertz, because that's the antenna we have over here. So this watch came about because there was before the WVA-500. Now they claim this is to be the first full metal chronograph or tachymeter, but that's because the wave scepter, usually they're just covered with metal. Underneath is resin. And this one used module 2763, and they're basically the same, which I'll show you later. The 2763 was made in Thailand, and that one does a better job with selecting DST and the US antenna and all that stuff. But when they created the Oceanus line, they took that module and they did everything in Japan. They upgraded the power saving function, and they added something. I don't really know what, but they did upgrade something inside. The parts inside are a little bit different, but everything inside, everything functions the same. So that's what I'm trying to say. So here is that watch, the OCW-500. Then there's another watch that came out in 2005 called the Overland, which you can see it has a different dial, but it uses the same module. It comes with like a strap. And then there was another wave scepter with the same 3731 module. You can see that one. Now there is I'll show you here. The North American version of this uses a module 3732, and there is a European version that uses module 3733 and 3734. So these two modules are exactly the same. What I was able to find out was that the difference is the thickness of the module. There's something different because they are in different type of cases. So I know that the titanium version, you can see this one is this one, and then the TDJ-1A, the color here is more like a blue. That's actually the color of the solar panel, because what you're seeing here, the dial is transparent, and whatever you're seeing as a color, that's actually the solar panel. And that's the same thing here. So those two, I know they have sapphire. This one, the TDJ-7A, it changes the color here. That one also has sapphire. Not sure about this one with the leather, even though the case is titanium. This other one here is also titanium. This one here also titanium. Not sure if they have sapphire glass. Now when we come to the North American versions, this TDA is the ones that I'm not really sure if it also has sapphire glass. So the basic difference between these two is titanium, stainless steel, titanium. And of course this one has the module 3732, which basically works a little better with the wave scepter here in the United States. It also works in Japan. Here's a few other versions here. So these are the 510. You can see the dial changes a little bit. It has numbers now, Arabic numbers. 510 LA, 510, and then you got the SGA with the gold, stainless steel and gold. And then we come over to the European, and of course we got the titanium version, titanium, stainless steel, and again I'm not sure if these have sapphire. Stainless steel, look at the dial, and it's a 500. Then you got a 510, different color here on the dial. 510, 510. European version 520. This one I think is the best looking one. You got Arabic numbers all the way around, and that bottom dial there has a red hand. This other one down here too, look. So that one is the OCW-500TDJ-1A, and the 520LE-1A-1V. 520, 520. And then you have another titanium version here, TDE-1AV, but this one has Arabic numbers all the way around. And then you have this World Cup version here. This watch right now is actually in Etsy, but it's missing the back cover. And the guy has it with a wrong battery, a regular CR1616. He's not in the United States or England. He's I can't remember what country he's in, but he's actually selling this watch right here. Missing the back cover. So this picture here is just to remind me, in case I forget, how to remove the bracelet. You saw that on the previous mini video. And let me see what else I got here to show you. Okay, so here is the troubleshooting screen. I actually printed this out because I know I'm going to forget. So from the timekeeping screen, that LCD is very tiny. You press A, B, and C. Oh, missed it. Now I gotta go back. Let me see. Try to press adjust first. That way it doesn't. There, I got it. So you can see we got all 8. Now if you press B again, I believe I didn't write that down. I should have. You can see you go to the next screen, and then the next screen 2763, and we already mentioned that module number. So you can see they changed everything, but that main chip is still there. It still registers as a 2763, as you can see there. And you can see that that new piece of polarizing that I put on top of the original one is doing a better job on that LCD. All right, to exit, just press here. Now to test the tilt function for the auto light, because it does have auto light, you press A, C, and D. And you can see here it says TL. You twist it, you get all the 8s. That means the sensor is working fine. And to test out the solar panel, let me exit. A, B, and D. Right? Let me see. There. So it says SR. All you gotta do is put your hand over it. That way it detects a change. And voila. You get all 8s. That means the solar panel is working fine. And then I found this other one. You press C, B, and D. Let's exit out. Let me see if I can get it, because this one is one of the most difficult ones to get. Got it. You get this screen right here. I can't make out that letter. I think that's a W. A W. So that W might represent the signal here in the United States, which is WWVA, I believe, right? And then if you press, which one was it? I think is it this one? No, it wasn't that one. Let's go back again. Oh. There. Let's try this one. There, you can see it has a J. That means Japan 40. That's the other antenna in Japan. J60. That's the other antenna in Japan. And back to W60. Now, look at this. If I press this one here, which is B, it starts blinking. Press it again, and it gives me an E, like it's from Europe. And that made me think that it would receive the signal from Europe. So I set the watch to London time, and then I used the app to try to get the time from London, and it didn't work. Because once you set it to London time, and you try to do the manual auto receive feature, it won't go into it. So it has it on the screen, but it won't work. And that's all the troubleshooting screens that I was able to find on this watch 22 years later. And these are more of the same data points. The manual, I was able to find a link with this manual translated into English, because the 3731 is only found in Japanese. And then you got the 3732. And then 37, 33, and 34. Which is, like I mentioned, for Europe. So let me show you the different screens. So timekeeping mode, you press again. That's the stopwatch. The stopwatch, once you activate it, this dial here is the battery gauge. But once you go into the stopwatch, the battery gauge becomes part of the stopwatch, and every time this goes into a minute, this dial moves forward 1. So this is where it's going to be recording. So every time I messed up trying to do the troubleshooting and I press the stopwatch, it records. To delete, you press these 2 buttons on the top at the same time, and there it deleted everything. And here is the time. See how it said differential -4. That's the time right now in the East Coast because of DST. That's the alarm, right? So it has right here is where you select to have the signal. Right now it's off. Alarm 1, off. Alarm 2, off. Alarm 3, off. Alarm 4, off. Alarm 5 is off. Okay, so HS is to set the hands, the hour and minute, hand. Here you can set all of that. There it is. What do you think? I put this to the side. Let's go here into the magazine. The magazine is pretty nice. Let me see if I can zoom out that way you can see more. So it has a section for the Oceanus line. Look at the movie G-Shocks. Oh, there it is. Here it is, the Oceanus 2004. The very first Oceanus, the OCW-500, debuted in 2004 as the world's first full metal, solar powered, radio controlled chronograph, and feature an analog digital combination dial dial design. It also incorporated advanced multi-functionality, including dual time. All right, so if you go over here, all right, it'll show you a few other Oceanus. And then here, right, it apparently is showing you like different models by year, right? But then if you read here, what does that say? The original Oceanus, the world's first solar-powered, radio-controlled chronograph with a full metal exterior, with a digital LCD at 3 o'clock. The brand's only analog digital combination model. What if I told you that's a lie? That is a lie. Has anybody told you in the past that you got to read to be smart? This is why I don't trust that, because that is the easiest way to be manipulated. Because if the guy writing doesn't know what he's saying, then you are going to be repeating the same BS. What about this one? Look at this. The OCW-500TDJ. This module came out in 2006. They completely disappeared it from everywhere. Full titanium, sapphire, multiband 6. Multiband 6. 100 meters water resistance. This has to be the most beautiful watch. If I would have bought this watch 20 years ago, I would have never bought an automatic watch. 4 pushers. So this watch, I believe it came out in 2006. Then this continued around 2008. And in 2008, this one came out. Oh, no, not that one. Sorry. This one. The OCW T400. Not to be confused with the T4000, because the T4000, it's similar to this one over here. It's probably somewhere around here. Let me see if it's in this book. I don't see it. But yeah, it's the T4000. It's similar to that. So this one is also multiband 6. It's kind of busy, the dial. But as you can see, they lied. Because there's 2 other Oceanus that are anadigital. And this one is just gorgeous. So this one, the OCW-500, there's 2 versions of this watch. There's another one with a negative display. And this one has 4 versions. This is the only one with positive. There's other 3 versions with negative LCDs. So this one got deleted from history. It's not. It doesn't even show up on the Casio part website to get parts like O-rings or anything. But you know, I got it. And then it basically got transformed into this. You see the resemblance? It got handed down to the Casio lineage. But the Casio lineage only has 3 buttons. You see the resemblance there? Wish this one had 4 buttons like this. So if Casio is watching, you need to bring this watch back immediately. Immediately. So that's going to be it. Oh, and all these watches, I'm sweating. They all have a back cover with 4 screws, including the edifice here. Because there are versions now of the Oceanus that have a pop-up back cover. All these 3 have 4 screws, which is my preferred method, instead of the screw back. Now, my recommendation to Casio is, why would you have a line of watches named Oceanus and not make them 200 meters water resistance, even though nobody probably needs it, you know, but it looks good on the stat sheet, you know what I mean? But that's going to be it. More in the future on these 2 watches. I made a video on this one. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, share with your friends. Let me know if you have any of these watches. The only 3 Oceanus that are any digital right here. What do you think? Thank you for watching. Peace.